In just a moment, I'm going to make my way over to the microphone over there and see if I can't convince you to sing out a song all together in Marty's spirit. But before I do that, it would only be apropos if I created a little bit of an intro by telling you that I first met Marty in the late 80s, right out of high school, entering UWM, and I could always tell where Marty would be around campus by the smell of his tobacco. And oftentimes I could see the clouds and know that I wasn't far behind him. And we became fast friends. He was quite an inspiration to me over the years. And I'd like to say a couple words here. There's a saying that goes, the best sermons are lived and not preached. I say this because Martin Jack operated on a whole other plane than many of us. He straddled a Pinto that rode somewhere between the wide-open vistas of Girl Marcus's weird old America and the relative confines of contemporary academia. I believe he chose this and was chosen. To think otherwise would deny the fact that there was something inherently mystical about Marty to me. He was a highly intellectual and remarkably adept poet who happened to hold a doctorate. He cruised his way into our hearts as friend, family man, dad, counselor, historian, and finally professor, though I still think he should have been a rabbi. And more than once I said, "Oi, Marty, better you should have been a doctor or a lawyer. Enough with all this motorcycles, guns, and knives. Stop all this mishigas already." He didn't stop. He just switched gears. Marty was a juggler, and I often like to remind him that if he looked in the mirror, he'd see that most folks tend to work with just two balls. But Marty, he was toting 8 or 9, or should I say juggling 8 or 9. Like my own grandfather, he had that old world work ethic and still managed to find the muse in between family, classes, and conversations. Marty had an authentic affinity for words, and if you like to swing on a star or carry moonbeams home in a jar, then Marty always had the right medicine to help you court the muse. Yet no matter how hard we tried, we knew that Martin Jack held that most amazing of gifts. He could talk less and say more all at once. He was a do what has to be done kind of guy. And in cowboy talk, that means he rode for the brand. What brand, you ask? So far as I could see, family and friends, with a capital F. The one that matters most in this lifetime, and for this I stand here today grateful for the time that he gave me. Speaking of time, I could wax poetic all day about what I remember and what I don't, who I thought he was and who he thought he was. What matters most now is not who he was or who we hoped he'd be, but rather where we can find him. Should we need to call on his name, to honor him, to forgive him, to celebrate him, or smile on his life? I don't know where you'll go looking for Marty, but you might try looking in the cracks that lie somewhere between the black and white piano keys. That's where all the old songs go after they've been sung 10,000 times. Or if perhaps you follow the scent of gunsmoke as it wafts into the air, where it's headed as it spirals up, that's a good place to start too. And don't neglect to look inside some of those old Gibson guitars. That's where he hid a treasure trove of songs and poems with the hopes that we too might seek what he sought. And if in fact he was a spirit fugitive with a free hand to lend, then you can expect to find him every time a kid takes up Guitar 101, strikes a chord and starts mumbling, Come gather around people wherever you roam and admit that the waters around you have grown. And accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone if your time to you is worth saving. You better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changin'. Martin, Jack, I'll miss your words. I'll miss your smile. I'll miss your friendship. And wherever you are, I hope you'll keep your powder dry and the snakes out of your drain. On many of the early recordings, you'll hear wonderful fiddle music, and this is Susan Nicholson, who played on many of Marty's recordings. She graciously offered to join me on this song. The louder you sing today, at least, the better I'll sound. And if I can get through this song without crying, then that will hold true. So let me hear you say I can't even remember the words now. I believe if I lived my life again, I'd still be here with you. Can you say that, please? That's the refrain. I believe, well, I think Marty switched my capo. That dirty dog. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. Oh, sing it again now, now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. You think you can handle that? Come on, try it. Ready? I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. Now say it again, now, now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. I'll never see the ending of my mind. Everything must have a time. Should I ask for things that I don't need, or foolish lies to hide my greed? Come on, you, do it. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. Oh, say it again now, now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. And if I thought that Lady Luck was blind, that old sun would never shine. And if I thought that death really held the knife, that old sun would never shine. Here we go now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be here with you. So say it again now, now. I believe if I live my life again, I'd still be